Hello, what's good? I'm your boy Jay Howard, and today I want to talk about athletes that went broke or lost their fortunes. Unfortunately, nobody dreams of having an illustrious sports career, achieving a lot of accomplishments from their childhood dreams like winning MVPs, being the best player on the team, to being the best player in your sport in the world, entire world. But nobody ever thinks about making a lot of money from their sport and losing everything or damn near everything. Well, I want to drop a list of like 15 people that made a lot of money playing their respective sports and lost their fortunes. Scottie Pippen, starting off with Scottie Pippen, he lost over $120 million of his fortune. Mike Tyson, during his incarceration, lost up to 3 to 400 million. Kurt Schilling lost $50 million in a video game venture that went sour. Antoine Walker lost over $110 million. Michael Vick, dealing with the dog abuse scandal or the case or whatever, lost him over $130 million. Terrell Owens, $60 million with child support and mismanagement. Travis Henry, $20 million in child support and just having fun with his money. Lenny Dykstra, $50 million in bad business deals. Evander Holyfield, $250 million in bad business deals, child supports, and a slew of other things. Chris McAllister, $55 million. Most of it is in child support, 11 grand a month. Raleigh Fingers, a pistachio farm. Mark Brunell, $50 million in bad business deals. Jack Clark, $20 million on expensive and extravagant cars. Latrell Sprewell, $50 million. Kenny Anderson, $60 million. And Deuce McAllister, $70 million on a car dealership, several car dealerships. Where do we start with this? Because apparently, a lot of us have never had, most of us watching this video have never had that type of money in our lives. And it's most of our dreams to have money like that. How can you let it happen is what you would ask yourself, like, how will this happen and how can it happen? The question I pose to you, what do you think went wrong? How do you think an athlete can start off, let's take a football player and Pop Warner, dreams and aspirations of playing high school football, and from that point he dreams of playing college football. From that point he dreams of playing in a mighty NFL. He dreams of having all the cars, all the women, all the money, all the houses, all the jewelry, all the things that make him feel that he's successful, and the things he deemed he earned from being this superstar that he has became. How do you lose it all? Where in that cycle, I told you from Pop Warner all the way up to the NFL, does mismanagement come in? This is a question I'm posing to you. When does the mismanagement come in? My opinion, and I was just using a football player for an example, it's like a shock to most to be able to finally hit that lotto. You know what I mean? It's like a lottery. It's like people get up every day and they stop by the store, they pump their gas, hit their cigarettes, and they say, give me a lottery. Give me a lottery. I don't play the lottery. Give me a lottery. Quick pick, whatever it is. And in the back of your mind, sometimes you feel today is my day. I'm going to win. Now, this is a thing of luck and chance. Most of these athletes, it's a little bit different. A lot of them really do, and they follow the proper protocol, and they do what they're supposed to do to become successful. And they blow it. You get what I'm saying? Now, that shock that I'm talking about, that initial shock of the first $1 million, it should have you set at bay where you say, you know what? I got to manage this because this is a small amount. I don't know any athlete that started off at, probably LeBron James probably initially started off his career probably with $90 million with his endorsements and all those things. But I don't know a lot of athletes that started off their careers, like their first game on the court or the first game on the field or whatever it may be, their first boxing match where it really started off with a big ticket or a big purse that high. And it seems like after a while when the money starts to accumulate, I guess some of them feel like I know the money is coming in, so I don't have to worry about spending it. And I want to know, like, from your perspective, the people that's watching, where do you think they went wrong? When we look at people like Mike Tyson, and I really look at the boxers that was on this list, collectively, with Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield, they're like almost at $1 billion. If you take all the money they ever made in their careers and combine them, they might be over $1 billion or probably at $1 billion for sure. And I don't know Mike Tyson and I don't know Evander Holyfield, but from what's read about them with the money they lost, they then lost like probably like $700 million collectively. How can this happen? You know what I mean? Well, look at Michael Vick with the dog case. You look at Latrell Sprewell was turning down money in the NBA. He said that wasn't enough to pay for his lifestyle and his family. $20 million. I know he wish he can recant that statement and do it all over again. Michael Vick fighting dogs lost $130 million. And you know football contracts are really not guaranteed. They inflated. But if you can play them out, you can make a lot of money. Deuce McAllister, running back. Running backs have probably an 8-year window. Chris McAllister for the Ravens. He was in the secondary. I think he was a safety or cornerback, one of them. He played 8-9 years, but you can't make that money back. You're done. You're finished. McAllister, you can't run anymore. It's over with. How do you regain some of the income that you lost? Or do you just take the loss and move on? This stuff is scary. I remember they were saying rumors about Allen Iverson was being broke. And what they considered broke was what he used to have. But he's not broke. You know, he still has money, but he's not broke. That's why they didn't put him on the list. But people like Antoine Walker, even Vince Young. Vince Young tweeted, I think it was a game with Seattle playing the Cardinals. They say that he tweeted Larry Fitzgerald and told him, I know you guys need a quarterback. Try to get me a job. Tell the coach I need a job. Something he said to that nature. And it's crazy, $26 million in like 4 or 5 years. You know, this stuff is crazy. Lawrence Taylor, they say most of his fortune was lost in drugs, with using drugs. You know what I mean? Jack Clark for the St. Louis Cardinals. Extravagant cars. You only need really one car, maybe two. You don't need 5 and 6 cars. I guess to look at a very expensive car does something for your ego. You know what I mean? Because I just don't understand how can these athletes lose this type of money. I know with drugs, the heavy partying, the excessive drinking and partying, the entourage, like Andre Rison talked about the entourages. Antoine Walker, personally, is a good dude, despite a lot of people, what they say about him losing his money. He gave a lot back to his community. A lot of people over that we don't never mention when we say that they have lost their fortunes. A lot of people never throw in the fact, like what MC Hammer did. It was people that did good humanitarian work, their money too, that lost their money. That tried to be a person that helped the less fortunate, and they lost their fortunes that way. Will Smith did the same thing with his record deal. That when he first, you know, him and Jazzy Jeff first came out, he lost everything, and he got it back through acting. You know what I mean? So these things happen. I just want to know what you guys think. How can it happen, and what would you do to prevent it? What are the measures you would take if you had that opportunity to win? Say you won the lottery, you won $300 million. What would you do? Because some of these people on this list, when you look at them, all of them are retired. You know what I mean? And none of them, except Michael Vick, we don't know if T.O. is ever coming back. But T.O., out of all the people on the list, his attitude was so flamboyant. You know what I mean? I don't feel sorry for really nobody on this list because they had more money than me. You know what I mean? They had it in their custody and lost it. So it's not about feeling sorry for them. It just really makes you think, you know what I mean? What if this happened to you, or will you let this happen? So like I was saying with T.O., I really definitely don't feel sorry for him because T.O., he was a character and he made it hard on himself, and now he's preaching a different tune now. Give me your opinion on this whole list and what you think happened and what would you do to prevent it. I'm your boy Jay Howard. Until next time. Peace.